Hi, I'm Michael LeBlanc, and welcome to Divine Dirt Inspirations. Today, so the news is always had headlines, right? And headlines are very deliberate, and they're written a certain way because they're designed to grab your attention. Even on social media, even on email, the subject lines, those taglines, they want you to click on them. So they're all kind of crafted and written a certain way so that you will look at it. And today's inspiration is called creating your own headline, right? And a couple of years ago when I wrote some of these, I was writing this one because at that time there was a lot of negativity going on in the world. There was a lot of drama. People's anxiety was up, similar to today, but for a different reason, right? Today, there truly is a virus. There truly are people who are sick. There are people who are dying. A friend of ours, her father passed away recently from the virus. I got a buddy of mine in Houston who's positive with the virus, but he's doing quite well. And so there's some realities to what's going on. But what I wanted to focus on about creating your own headline and just reminding us about headlines, that they are written to be dramatic. They are written to grab your attention. And that's just the design to get readers. They want to grab you. They want to pull you in. And so just it is, right? So getting mad about the news and how they promote the news, to me is just sort of interesting. It is what it is. Now, I wanted to talk about three specific things, but before I do that, if you go to the beach, right? And if you were to go to the beach and you were to pick up a handful of sand, that handful of sand does not represent the entire beach. If you look at my lawn out here, and if I were to pick up, some of my lawn, these few blades of grass do not represent the entire lawn. Hello, Eric. Hello, Donna. Hey, and Donna, thanks for the paper today. So what I want you to remember as I pull weeds out of my lawn, the dollar weed will just not go away this year, is headlines and the news. They're meant to focus in a certain way, and they're meant to grab your attention in a certain way. But it's kind of like this few blades of grass. They are not representing the allness that's going on in the world. Those few blades of grass do not represent my entire lawn. And so there's practices I think is just important we have and we do so that you don't just become a victim to the news. You don't become a victim to the negativity or the fear going on around you. I think the virus is real and there are smart things to do. But something to me that's worse than the spread of the virus is the spread of fear, because it really hinders how you think. It hinders decisions you make. It hinders what you do when you get lost or caught up in fear. So in bold in this chapter is just a reminder that every single day, and I do mean that literally, and in this very moment while this is going on, there are absolutely good things happening. There are positive things in your world. There are things to appreciate in the midst of this coronavirus and our experience. And so, yes, headlines are deliberate. They're to get your attention. They're often dramatic, and they're meant to be that way. So be it. What do you focus on in your day? What are you paying attention to? one thing you always, and I always have charge of, is where is my focus? I don't care where I'm at. I don't care what I'm doing. I don't care what I'm in the middle of. The thing I always have control over is where is this divine focus? Where am I placing it? So, three simple things four that I wanted to, that I practice on a daily basis. And one is before I wake up, when I wake up, so not before, but when I wake up, I will not go to my phone and do social media and look at Facebook or look at the news or any of that before I have time to go into silence and meditation. I practice centering prayer. I tend to read each morning different spiritual texts. It's kind of broad what's out there, but something that's going to refocus me inwardly. And I center, and the center prayer practice, it's in chapter 2 of my first book, Manifest a Better Life with God, or go to contemplativeoutreach.org, and there's tons of information on it. But so practice one that I do on a daily basis is before I interact in any kind of way with the world, I will have time in silence and meditation. And then only after I've gotten centered will I engage or look at social media or check an email or anything like that, especially email, because email you just don't know what's going to be there. And the next thing you know, you meant to check it for a minute and it's taken you down this rabbit hole. And now if you had something creative you wanted to do, your energy's been drained. There's actually David Rock is a neuroscientist out there, and he's got a book called Your Brain at Work. And it's a great read. He's got another one called Quiet Leadership. But he talks about in Your Brain at Work how if you know you have something important to do, a meeting, or you know you need to be on, you know you need to be creative, the worst thing you could do is do something like check email or something that's really going to potentially zap you and drain your energy quickly, because then when you go to do this important thing, you don't have the energy for it. So that's practice one that I wanted to share about how I create my own headline every day. Is I go into silence, I do meditation, I do sort of a spiritual read, and I get myself centered before I engage in the world. That's number one. Number two, I'm deliberate about how much news am I going to expose myself to? How much negativity am I going to expose myself to? It's up to me. If I don't take care of me, who the hell's gonna, right? So I deliberately will see a little bit because I do want to know what's going on. I do want to know how to take care of myself in this time. But if I'm watching it and I start noticing my feelings are shifting, meaning your anxiety's starting to go up, then it's hit the pause button, hit the off button, and come back to it another time. But don't just get lost in it so that now you've cranked up your fear and your anxiety and you've really kicked in that fight-flight kind of response going on. So practice two for me is I limit how much news or negativity I take in and I expose myself to. And I do it in a very deliberate way. So that's a two. The third is, so I don't know about you, but growing up, I grew up on a farm. We were 3 kids, mom and dad. Nightly news was just tradition. 10 o'clock, it's still 10 o'clock. I don't know why it became 10 o'clock, but it's 10 o'clock. And, the headlines, right, they're kind of grabbing your attention. And watching the news was just sort of what happened. And I know as an adult, I don't have to watch the news at night. And that's the last. I do not want to go to bed with that having been what I just exposed myself to. Mark, my husband, calls it the murder and mayhem report. It's like, because that's kind of the focus. But again, it's meant to be that way. And so There is a show called Whose Line Is It Anyway? I don't know if you've ever seen it. Sometimes it's on around the same time, and it always makes me laugh. It's improv. They're hilarious. I can go to bed laughing about something. So, or just a simple appreciation run through your day and what's something you can appreciate. But there are things you can do before you go to bed, before you drift off, that will put you in a better place as you go into sleep to kind of restore yourself and wake up in a better place if you don't go to bed watching things that are terrifying you. So that's my practice number 3. So number 1 is beginning my day in silence, and number 2 is about minimizing how much news, and number 3 is really paying attention to what do you do before you go to bed. And my 4th that I'm going to throw in there is, even though things are changing, so like I'm supposed to be in Kearney, New York this week, teaching supervisors and teaching leaders leadership training 2 days this week, and obviously can't happen, not happening, and so it's a financial, it's not happening. Right? And I was supposed to go to Vancouver and do some more training this month, and that's not happening. And so, yes, it's different, and yes, it's financially different, and I'm having to be a little smarter about things. But here's what I am doing, though. Every day, in my silent time, in my meditation time, now I'll do this part multiple times in my day, I'm envisioning myself prospering, I'm envisioning my business succeeding, I'm envisioning things going well, I'm envisioning Mark doing well, I'm envisioning my family doing well, I'm envisioning my best life, even in this time where finances are different. And I continue to do that every day. And when I say envision, let me explain what I mean by envision. Envision doesn't mean just a mental game of imagining my business succeeding. It's not. Some people use vision boards. I'm a journaler. I write a lot. But even a vision board or things like that, they help you focus. But truly where you need to go is that emotional state of being, of feeling the abundance and feeling the success and feeling the health and the wellness, or whatever it is you're needing to envision for yourself. So my 4th practice I want to put out there is this envisioning your best life. But specifically when I say envision, it is you have to touch the emotional place of it as a now experience, and it is happening in this now moment. And if you don't touch that, then you're not there yet, and you just have more work to do. And the techniques will vary about how you go there, and I have different things I work with clients on to go there. But the ultimate goal that I do daily right now is I keep envisioning myself still succeeding. I keep envisioning myself still doing well. And interesting things happen. Like last night, I had some time doing this, and I've had some people register for my workshop coming up Saturday on an energy meditation called Return to Wholeness. I had a guy 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, we did a YouTube interview about my first book, Manifest a Better Life with God. I get a text out of the blue that he's about to air that video on YouTube, on his channel. I got another email from another coach I know, and she wants to have me kind of a sponsor leader that she's going to feature next month. 2 weeks ago, I get an invite to be on Law of Attraction Radio. So there's just these, as I go in and I keep envisioning my best life happening, these things keep sort of showing up. And here's what I truly believe with all my being. If I was lost in fear and worry, right, because of the changes, because of the two There are actually 6 jobs that didn't happen this month, and that's a good chunk of change. If I got lost in the stress and the worry of that, I truly believe then the energetic space, the vibrational space that I'm holding would not allow these opportunities and nuances that are popping up. But as I go in and I keep feeling that improved space, I really feel and believe those help those opportunities keep lining up. So, I'm going to recap my 4. I don't know if you can see this, right? So 1 is daily morning practice of silence or something going within. I don't care if it's a reading, but it's something you do to center yourself before you interact with the world in any kind of way. Maybe you have to do it in bed when you wake up before because the kids are going to be right outside that door. Do it. Do 2 minutes laying in bed, center, do something, right? Type in a few things you like to do. I'd love to hear what are a couple of things you do in the morning. But do it before you interact with the world. Keep telling me hello. I'm glad you're out there. Number 2 is it's you are focusing all the time. You're focusing out here, or sometimes you're focusing on crap in your head, but you're focusing it. It is what we do. And we may not be practiced at it, but you can practice what you focus on. So I limit how much news I'm willing to watch. I limit how much negativity I'm willing to take in. I remember in the previous election, I had a friend of mine, she just got on this rant and negativity, and I just blocked her. I didn't know Facebook could do that, but you could block a friend for like a month, and I was like, you're done for a month. I don't need that, and I don't want that. So it's your focus. You take charge of it, all right? Number three, right, is how do you go to bed? How do you end your day? Again, I said as a kid, we grew up watching the news. I don't do that anymore. That's the last. I don't want to see all the drama. And again, the news is focused on a very few pieces. Like this pieces of grass does not represent my lawn. The news and the focus it has is not representing all the well-being in the world, right? So I go to bed on a positive note. I'll either do it mentally, or like I mentioned, there's a Whose Line Is It Anyway? Mark and I like watching that show. It kind of makes me laugh, and I try to go to bed that way. All right? And number 4 that I was sharing is each day, especially now while things are changing, I will envision my life doing incredibly well. So I'm not religious, but I grew up Catholic, and Jesus, a spiritual teacher out there, if they're still talking about you 2,000 years later, even though the facts might be wrong, something went on that this person did, just like they're still talking about Buddha, even more time than that. But it was, one of his teachings is about done unto you according to what you believe. And a lot of times I think we want things, but we really don't believe those. And the belief piece is work. And so daily I have to go within and I have to envision my best life. I have to envision my business succeeding the way I want it to succeed. And envision meaning I have to reach the feeling space of it as a now experience. And if I don't touch that space, my work isn't done. Right? So don't fool yourself that you're believing in good when what's going on emotionally is you're worried. Then there's a disconnect. And what you're going to attract to you is more things to worry about, because that's just how that works. All right. So, again, Michael LeBlanc. These are Divine Dirt inspirations from my book, Divine Dirt. Today was about creating your own headline and looking for things that are going well. And please go out and share them. In the feed, if you would, share things that help you center. Share things that are going well for you. Share some good news you would like to share, right? So take charge of your focus. My shirt, I like wearing things that have energy, things that promote and uplift. So at divinedirt.net. you can find some items that also do that. One last thing. So people struggle. I've struggled. I've hired therapists at times in my life when I needed it. I've done energy work at times when I've needed it. I hire coaches when I need them. I have 2 currently that I use. So I just don't do it alone. Don't struggle alone. There's coaches like myself. There's energy practitioners like myself. Reach out to us if you need. You can reach me at michael@createwithconsciousness.com. You can go to my website, createwithconsciousness.com, or even at divinedirt.net. At the bottom, there's a way to contact me there. You have a fantastic day, and I will be back on, what is today, Tuesday. I'll be back on Thursday at 11. Please keep saying hello. I'll get back to you in a minute. Let me know you're there, and we will talk to you on Thursday. Thanks.